Okay, so our party had originally found themselves at the Claude House, as it was known at the time, where they basically were letting Nelson Marcel, Claude's father, basically recover from his injuries at the Cash Windfall attack. With that, there was a mini alternative techniques utilized for interrogation when it came to Niall the assassin. Combination of non-verbal cues hadn't been used because there was no tongue in his mouth, message being used, as well as reading thoughts, and just hearing the distress and the confusion within his voice about how this had occurred to Niall. From there, the party basically split off. And by the party splitting off, I mean Tommy. Tommy walked off on his own. Tommy basically was having a huff and decided, I'm going to walk out like a hero. He's going to walk out and he's going to investigate some commotion at the far end of the square, away from the hustle and bustle of the morning dockyard areas, the port area. From that, he found a makeshift, let's call it, demonstration of force being carried out by our protesting miners. That's miners, because there are no minors in this, and this DM will not allow it, no matter how much Tommy wants to do that. But anyway, so with that, the protest with the miners, and there was a commotion, and Tommy had briefly talked them down from taking any drastic measures, but also passively watched from a distance as a disturbance occurred at the far end, which led to the destruction of the stage and an unknown result of that chaos in the square. The rest of the party, however, were at the portyard area, where they were coming across an increased amount of activity on this day. They had sensed that there's basically, with the reduced water traffic or travel in the area, this day had almost been kind of designated as a get everything done at the port day, which led to a massive increase in traffic, with one particular ship standing out, not only to Tommy and the rest of the group, but also other visitors to the site, including our old friend Rusty, from Magville Swamp. So from there, Tommy had an altercation with a large individual, a senior individual that has not been identified properly, which led to his incapacitation and capture and being taken away by this group, while the rest of the party came across a warehouse where they were met by three extremely charming individuals, who I will be looking to get their images now. Three extremely charming individuals. One of them's in there twice for some reason.
He's got a twin.
Let's get that poor town off. We're introduced to the party, overheard among the hustle and the bustle of the Mr. Asshole, I believe, if I'm pointing this correctly, Storm. No.
You have one wrong picture, so
one wrong picture. I do.
It's kind of the lighter. I'm trying to see off of you.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry. You name them however you want. I can edit it however.
I'll get them. So basically, I can get that from the documents. But anyway, basically met by three individuals restricting access to a port warehouse that originally the party were about to gain access to with their connections and the name dropping of the Marcels. However, their lack of knowledge when it came to the Howling Boar led to a complete shutdown in communications, followed by an extreme gradual increasing antagonizing an escalation of communications between the party and the 3 pirate individuals, which is where we left our moment with basically going straight into initiative as the party had decided to take their frustrations out on this group of pirates or privateers or sailors, and had been made aware that additional reinforcements were potentially on their way from the ship itself. So if everybody could roll initiative for me, please, and I will look about getting this image sorted.
13.
Oh, 19.
25. The dice.
Logan did not take the insinuation that his cape is not the most beautiful thing in the world very badly, and has been busy ready to unleash an arrow at a moment's notice. So,
Claude, you said 17.
13.
13. Okay.
Tommy got 15. I'm gonna roll for Telemus, and I'm guessing his initiative.
Tommy is pretty much unconscious.
Okay. Tommy has a 0. 0 initiative.
Yeah. So yeah.
Oh, Telemus, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have rolled for you.
Telemus got a 15.
No, yeah, can that be Telemus's?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Yep.
Perfect.
Okay.
'Cause I rolled a 1.
And Rian.
You're muted.
19.
18.
9.
19.
19. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Right. So we got Logan, we've got Bo and Rain. Will Bo and Rain both roll a d20 and tell me who gets higher, please?
18.
15.
Okay, so Bo's going to be second. Rain's going to be third. And from there, sorry, Tommy.
I just wanted to correct you. So the pictures that you have up, what the top right one needs to be replaced with the guy that looks like he's holding something up. He has a light green jacket on.
Oh, the older guy.
That's
Yes.
Mr. Yes, and that. Yep, perfect. There you go.
True.
So
Cool.
Mr.
So
Asshole,
we got them in order. Mr.
Asshole,
Asshole, Senor Asshole,
and Monsieur
and
on the
Monsieur.
bottom. Yep.
Fantastic. Okay. Cool. Okay, and then I will go with 3. Okay. I think they actually all rolled quite badly. So Logan, you're up.
All right.
What do you want to do?
Which one insulted my cape?
Mr. Asshole.
All right, Mr. Asshole. We're just gonna keep it nice and simple. Let me just shoot an arrow at this guy.
Okay, fantastic. Go for it.
Hit. 25 again. For a hit.
Yep, so definitely gonna hit.
Can we should we resolve that at the very end? Rian did say she casted magic missile, right?
She did, absolutely correct. Thank you very much, Bo. Okay, Rian, your magic missiles basically pop off. Bow, bow, bow. So you got 3 magic missiles flying through the air at the moment. Do you want to concentrate? How do you want to disperse those shots at the moment? Is it a 1 each or 2 for one, 1 for another? All 3 of them into the same guy? Who do you want to do? What do you want to do?
We're all going at Winky Asshole.
Okay, so Monsieur Asshole receives 3 magic missiles straight to the chest. Can you roll me your d4s, please? I believe it's 1d4 plus 1 for each of them.
I hope he said something cool like "kiss this" and then fired him.
Had the wind knocked out of you, Thomas. You are.
5, 4, and 3.
So Rain, basically when these pop off and you basically see them kind of just go boom 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 into Monsieur. What you notice is he doesn't even take a step back. Like he's shook by them physically, but you don't get the feeling that he's taking a huge amount of damage. If anything, he slightly brushes them off. Like I've kind of felt worse than that on a normal Tuesday. That's the sort of sense you're getting from this, but it has definitely got his attention and it's now focused on you as well. Okay, cool. Thank you for resolving that. Logan, your shot going straight for Mister.
It hits for 12.
12, good hit. Okay.
Damn, you all smacking right at this.
Yep. Okay, fantastic. So Logan, first thing you know is that whenever you do hit him, where do you hit him? Sort of in the body or in the legs? Where are you sort of aiming?
Square in the middle of the chest.
Yeah, square in the middle of the chest, right? So it definitely it pierces through. He's wearing sort of lots of different leathers and layers of clothes on that, so you can tell that has scratched him. So it's definitely got through and it's hit. But you'd imagine normally your bow would be strong enough to kind of almost pierce through somebody, especially if you got them at some sort of a short range with that as well. But so it does hit him, and you can see like, so it's like something stuck into him, and he basically breaks off the end of the arrow, but it's still stuck in him, the actual point. But the end of the arrow, he's just snapped off quite quickly, with his focus still very much initially on Claude at the moment. Okay, Bo, you're up.
I'm gonna go classic. I'm gonna cast suggestion on Senor Asshole. I'm gonna say, sir, you look like a fit man. Would you be able to swim to the other side of the river?
Okay.
And so for suggestion, target must make a wisdom saving throw. So Senor Asshole must make a wisdom saving throw of 14.
Okay. He does not make that. He actually only gets an 8, even with his plus. As you can imagine, pirates are not the most wise individuals in the world. They did ultimately end up in this line of work for a reason.
Hey,
you'd have to imagine how bad somebody has to be to not be part of this crew anymore. But sorry, Tommy. You're right
am I
there.
catching strays?
Yeah.
You didn't hear that.
Yeah, you're conscious. You didn't hear a damn thing. Okay, and so, Bo, when you suggest this to Senor, okay, one of the first things he does is he gets this thought into his head. There's an initial bit of resistance, but then he's like, "No, I could do that. You're damn right, I could." And he whips off the hat and he throws it at you, and he turns around, and he dives into the water, and he just keeps swimming and swimming and swimming for basically as long as he can. So he's completely exited this. So very, very well done on that. The one thing you do notice is that on the inside of his hat, you can see he's got scrawling on it, like a child would for the name, of their thing, and the name on it. So you'll see that it's spelled ASHOWEN. So you can tell that this guy's surname is actually Ashowen. And this is you get the feeling this is sort of the cousins out there. So although everyone had heard and were making fun of asshole family, they're actually called the Ashowans.
Ashowans.
So yeah, Ashowans. Okay. So Senor is swimming. He's just jumped straight in, left his hat. He doesn't want to lose the hat in the water. Jumped straight in and just
glad that worked.
Away from the fight. Okay, fantastic.
Can't believe you got a
Bo,
huge.
do you want to do any movement? Logan, sorry, go back to you as well. You have movement as well. I imagine you might want to look to get up high somewhere.
You are exactly correct. Yep.
Yeah,
That's what I was going to ask for. Is there something I can get up on?
You can. So the nearest thing to you is just a box of apples. It's not actually that high, but it's still elevated compared to your current position. The other thing closest to you would be the actual top of the warehouse. So you could look to climb that instead. So you can either just take one step and be up higher for the sake of being up higher, or you can actually try to investigate the rooftop of the nearest port.
Oh, we're going rooftop
Warehouse.
for sure.
Yeah. You mean my slightly elevated box of apples wasn't that enticing
Sorry,
to you?
it's not tantalizing
no,
enough.
not tantalizing. Okay,
Just one
fantastic.
step up, and the pirates are
Just
like,
one
"Holy
step,
shit! Get him down! Get him down!"
Get a look at this guy.
Good lord!
Yeah. So you're with that there. So basically, you kind of run off to the thing. So you, with the distance, so you had a little bit of distance to cover to get to the building, and then to go up. So you haven't quite reached the rooftop yet. You'd probably need about 10 feet of your movement in the next turn to complete the climb, and then to stand up. Okay.
All right, sounds good.
So you've taken the shot. You've hit Mr. Ash Owen right in the chest, and then popped up to climb, scurry up the wall of the building. Okay. Bo, any movement for you?
I'm gonna stay. I feel like I was kind of like in the front next to Claude, so I think I'm gonna stay right there. Where
So
I'm at.
I almost kind of saw you guys as like a little mini
V.
triangle, a little V shape. Claude at the front, Logo on the one side, flanked on the other side by Bo, and then
That's
Rian
fine.
just a little bit back off from that with Tobin as well.
That sounds reasonable to me. No, I'm gonna stay
Cool.
there. But for my bonus action, I'm gonna throw down a bardic inspiration at Claude.
Okay.
Actually, I'm gonna do it towards Rian since she's next. I'm gonna say.
At the game, man.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Oh yeah.
No,
Well, I guess
yeah.
you're right.
Yeah,
Shit.
yeah.
But
I think story-wise, you do with Claude.
yeah, I would.
Yeah.
That was my initial
Because-
thought too.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna do a little strum and say, "Now it's your turn," and give him
You roll
bardic
2d8 for me,
inspiration.
please.
Thank you.
2d8.
2d8, please.
Yeah. I should have done this first. This is the fun part. 8. 3 and a 5. Gotta go back.
Hey. So this one, all you hear is coming from the loot. Okay, it basically means your loot is basically starting to spark. Right,
Hell
it's,
yeah.
it's like it's kind of like shooting a little bit of lightning. So
Uh-huh.
it's basically you're playing the most powerful of power chords right now.
Hell yeah.
It's something similar to Rian's sort of electrical based, lightning based abilities.
Yeah.
And basically your next attack will have additional lightning damage and will be with advantage.
Hell yeah.
I don't know
Okay.
why. I just got a very Borderlands, like when a character first shows up, shredded. Just
Yeah.
like
That's exactly yeah. Okay, fantastic, cool. So you're ready to rock and roll there. Cool.
Yeah.
Rian, what do you want to do? You've still got Monsieur in front of you. You've got Mister off to the side a little bit, and you've also noticed as well that there's a little bit more commotion happening off at that boat. So it's a very, very large ship, and there's more people basically running down that plankway. But based on the map that we had, they say the boat is here at the back. So they're kind of coming off the ship and they're starting to run along this plankway towards you guys.
Um,
And I
So
have
I
you guys.
directly
I
in
have you
front of
guys
me?
around about this building. So yeah.
is there?
So
is the guy
Monsieur's
directly
in front of you. Yeah.
me within reaching distance?
If you move towards him, yeah. Which
Well,
is not far away. Like he's like maybe 6 feet away. Because he was basically up in your face and trying to be antagonistic and intimidating for you guys, and he wanted Tobin to be the ship's new sea dog, so he's very, very close.
Okay, I'm just gonna take 2 steps forward and use my quarterstaff two-handed and swing it at his head.
Okay, go for it.
16 to hit.
Yep, that hits. Good hit.
Is 6 damage.
6 damage. Okay. This is not the first knock on the noggin of Monsieur in his lifetime. So it definitely like shakes him a little bit. You know, he's probably imagine like, you know, boards flying by on the ship. So he's he's earned his sea legs a long time ago. You know, so he's had bumps and bruises ever. So definitely a good shot to the head. Once again, he's kind of taking it in his stride a little bit. You get the feeling he's felt worse anyway over his lifetime. But good hit. Any other movement you want to do? If you, for example, just to remind you, if you try to move away from him, he'll get an opportunity attack on you. And so, because you're kind of, even if you want to do like a sort of like a hit and a run type thing, he'll get a chance to hit you if you try to back off. Otherwise, you can just stay up in his face.
I want to use the Misty Step as a bonus action to come behind all 3 of the assholes.
So you will be behind 2 of them because Senor is still in the middle of his swim. And he's getting really tired.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. So you don't want to be behind him because you'd be in the water. So you'll be behind the other 3.
You're chasing him down. Come here, you motherfucker.
Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna place myself there.
Yeah, and Misty Step allows you to kind of get away from opportunity attacks. Isn't that correct? It's like it's almost a kind of like a. I'm just trying to confirm. Is it almost like a mini teleportation or like a very swift movement?
It is a teleportation. It says it's instantaneous. Like.
Yeah, so that's fine. So yeah, instantaneous. So basically, he doesn't get an opportunity attack because you were there. You hit him right in the head, and then bang, you disappeared. So out of his eye line. Okay. But Tobin is now in front of him. Okay.
He can handle himself.
Cool. Tell. It is Tell's go at the moment. So Tell obviously is he's got his head in a swivel, but every time his head moves on that swivel, the wee bells are going ding 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 ding. So it's adding a real anxious energy to the fight. There's these bells just constantly going off ding 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 as it goes along. But you can tell that Tell is ready to help with the next action that is coming up in any way that he can. So in that case, Claude, what action do you want to do, and in what way would Tell be helping you with that action?
I want to move forward so that I'm in range of both of them so that they can't move without me getting an attack of opportunity, but also so that I'm between them and the party. So if Tell is like flanking me so that nobody can like move around us.
I can do like cover fire or something, like anybody who's looking at him. I can
even like a distraction or something, you know. Then maybe you're intentionally shaking your head a lot to get lots and lots of bell noise.
I
so
take a
you
bell off, throw it at him.
Yeah, that's yeah. Okay, so Claude, that's going to allow you to move in between them. Okay, so you are within range of the both of them. Okay. However, if you stay there, you will technically be flanked because you are in between the 2 of them.
Okay, well, let's see.
Now creates a scenario that if you move, you will technically move out of the range of one of them.
That's fine. I'll stay there.
Which will cause the opportunity attack. Okay.
I'll still go through with it. I'm gonna channel divinity to abjure an enemy, and I'm gonna vow of enmity on the same target that Rian was attacking.
Monsieur? Yep.
Monsieur.
Yeah, so I'll have advantage on attack rolls against it. And I'm gonna hit him and add a divine strike.
Okay. Is the channel divinity or the enmity one. Sorry, is that a bonus action?
It was a bonus action, yes.
Cool, fantastic. Okay, cool.
Okay.
So what gets cast? What does this look like to you? Because this is a I believe this is a new ability for yourself. So you're sort of you've been working on
I
this.
only used it once.
You've used it once. Okay.
Mhm.
What does it look like?
So Claude holds his hand up, and a beam of light comes out of it. But where his beams used to be like wider yellowish in color, and looking more divine, this beam looks more purple. It's darker.
Yeah.
And it's a spell that I've cast before, but I think only once. So it like the light hits him, and like he just like you can see that he's kind of crippled.
Almost becoming like extremely tense and rigid with that. Yeah. So it's definitely making his movement awkward from there. Okay. Any other movements? Any other? Obviously, you've done your bonus action. You've done a bit of movement. You've done a bonus
No,
action.
Just the attack.
And so you roll the attack, and then with Divine Smite, which is different from other abilities, you get to wait to see if you've hit before you use it.
When you hit with a melee weapon attack, yes.
Yeah.
It
So
says
as
so.
as opposed to other abilities where you have to kind of call your shot and then hope that you hit it, it's one
Right.
of those ones where you can roll if you hit it, great, and then you can choose to add it,
Exactly.
which is nice. It's a nice way of so you're not necessarily kind of using up abilities.
Yeah. Spell
On a-
slots
on
are
a miss.
limited.
Yeah, like if somebody, I don't know, if some unconscious individual say had a pistol, for example, and they kept shooting that pistol in such a way that did not lead to other people being hit by the projectile dispatched from that pistol. But thankfully, that's not this. This is actually a useful attack.
In that case, no. It's a good example of what not to do. No.
When you put it that
Okay,
way,
yeah,
someone
yeah,
should
yeah,
probably
yeah.
stop using that pistol.
Just my friend.
So I rolled a 16 to hit.
Yep, 16. That's going to hit.
Okay. So roll for longsword damage is one-handed. That's 4 plus. Spend one spell slot. 2. Okay. Yeah, 2d8 plus 4. Damn, that's not great.
Wow.
Total
So
of
4
8.
plus 4. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
With advantage?
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
You
Okay.
have my inspiration. I think that only
Oh,
affects hits.
That's true. I am gonna roll for advantage again just to see if it's a nat 20, but it wasn't. Thanks for reminding me.
Oh, it's. I mean, it's a basically an inspiration dice. It doesn't add the advantage.
No. I had advantage from my
Oh,
my
okay. Sorry.
channel divinity spell.
Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. Fantastic. Tommy, you are still catching your breath at the moment. You've basically taken 2 serious punches right to the rib cage. However, while kind of looking down, like, oh my god, I can barely breathe, you feel something push past you and the group of the people that you're standing with. Okay. You hear an initial, hey, what the, in your sort of muffled, dizzy head, but that leaves straight away because you hear one other voice in the background very calmly going, let him go, boys, let him go. Okay? That's all you hear as something rushes past you guys. Okay? Cool. Right, so we're up to Mr. Okay? Mr. is looking right at Claude. Yes, he took an arrow straight into the chest. He's watched Logan do his little climb. It just basically he kind of looks at you almost disgusted. He's like, yeah, you coward, you better run. He shouts to Logan as he turns around and looks at Claude. So he sees that Claude is like this huge beam of a deep purple glow, and he sees that Monsieur is almost rigid with activity and has taken a massive attack. Well, actually, could have been more massive attack with that there. But he decides he's going, nah, see this guy? This guy was up in my face a second ago. I'm gonna. So he's gonna roll with advantage. and basically he's going to heroically and bravely hit you in the back from behind. Okay? Yeah. Okay. 22 to hit.
That does hit.
Okay. So, Claude, at that moment, you had this beam, you had the magic, you'd moved yourself into position, but that allowed you basically end up taking your eye off Mr. Ashowan. And he basically shanks you right in the back, right in the side, so just under your arm, where you've got your shield, I imagine, along with your weapon. Okay. And basically with that, he's going to hit you for 11 points of damage.
Holy shit.
Right in the back. It's really sharp.
Whack.
You weren't prepared for it. Bam! Advantage right in the back. I know that's mechanic wise, it's the advantage isn't for the attack, but he got the jump on you, and he's just been able to dig that right in at your rib cage. You're going to find it relatively difficult to breathe for a little bit. It might have some impact on your movement unless you do something about that. But he has basically just taken the opportunity. You showed your back to him. You were giving him grief beforehand, and he's taking the opportunity just to stab you right in the back. Okay.
As a reaction, I'm going to cast Hellish Rebuke with my pact slot.
Okay.
He needs to make a dexterity saving throw for 11. 11 to beat.
Yeah, he got 12. That sounds like I'm
son of
cheating,
a
but he
bitch.
did. But he got 12.
All right,
So
he'll
what did your hellish rebuke look like? And then I can sort of say that, and basically he just kind of was able to. Whoa! It was really close. Like if it was like flames, for example, you can imagine it just sort of flared up right in front of him.
Yeah,
but he
Claude
didn't get hit.
spins and points his hand, and purple flames shoot up his body, or near, at his body, from the ground. And on a failed, it's still half damage, and I rolled a 15 for damage on that.
Okay, so half of that. Yep.
Yes.
So half, and then
You round up or
in
down?
that case, I'm going to round down. I think it's down, and anybody in the comments can correct me, but that's fine. Okay, cool. So, right, so he took this flame and almost like standing too close to like a pyrotechnic that went off. He knows it could have went a lot worse, but it still pretty much did the equivalent of singeing his eyebrows. Okay, but with pain. He didn't take 7 points of damage to the eyebrows, but that's where we go from there. Okay, cool. Senor Ashowan is in the water, so he's going to take another wisdom saving throw to decide, is he going to keep swimming? Has he proved his point yet to this compulsion in his head, or does he need to keep proving himself? He only gets a 10. You said it was 11?
Save DC 14.
Oh, even better. Yeah, he's like, nah, I can go. I got the lung capacity. I can do this. Like, I bet you I could cross this whole body of water. So he's like still swimming, right?
Noise.
Right. So he's like, that's his commitment. He is like, I am showing this guy. This is what he gets for telling me that he doesn't think I can do it. Okay. That's that. Monsieur has already taken magic missiles to the chest. He's taken a knock to the head. And basically then Misty stepped away from him. So he doesn't know where Rain is at the moment. You could probably tell he's not the quickest of tracker in the world. You don't know whether if he's still intoxicated, or if he's just old, or if he's just dumb. You don't know the reason, but he hasn't kept track of that whatsoever. He just sees Tobin in front of him. Okay? So he's basically going to make a grab for Tobin. He's going to run at Tobin, and he's going to look to pick him up and run to the ship if he can. Okay?
Is that going to take him out of my attack range?
Yes, so you will get attack
Okay.
of opportunity on that. Absolutely. So as I said, he's not really with it. You can tell he's not the most tactical fighter in the world. He's very, very impulsive, and he sees his opportunity to take a pup and bring it back to the ship. Okay? So he runs, and as he's about to grab Tobin, Claude's attack. Actually, Claude, you don't have a reaction because you used your Hellish Rebuke reaction.
You did.
Yeah. So you don't get your opportunity strike.
Oh, it is under reactions. I was looking under bonus actions for some reason. Yep.
Yeah. Which even then you'd use your Enmity thing as well.
Yeah, you're right.
So you don't get all the actions. Stop being greedy.
I'm trying.
But yeah, so you had an idea to attack anybody if it went out of the way, but this real devastating shank right under the ribs has taken you out of your tactical focus at the moment and led to the Hellish Rebuke. Okay? So Monsieur has grabbed Tobin, scooped him up, and he is going to take that, and he's just going to start running towards the dock area. So he's running away. Okay? So he's run down that way.
Could Tobin use his level 9 ultimate bite attack to counter the
So he's running away at the moment. Okay. However,
I do not like
as he goes to run past some boxes, all you can see from your angle, Rain, you probably have the best angle on this at the moment, is you see a little red foot, a red furry foot, stick out from behind the boxes. And Dusty Rusty has basically tripped Monsieur up. Monsieur's landed on his face, and Tobin spilled out in front of him. So Tobin gives a little bit of a whimper. You can tell he's a kind of slight bit of a hobble at the moment because that wasn't planned. He couldn't prepare himself. So Tobin's hobbling at the moment, looking a little bit sad for himself, a little bit down in the dumps. But Monsieur is down on the ground, and this red furry foot of Dusty Rusty is behind the box. So that's where he had basically snuck around and was making his way towards that area.
Oh.
They hurt our dog. Kill them all.
Okay, so it's Monsieur's attack. Logan, back to you. You're up at the building. Yeah. So the first half of your movement is going to be to clear the rest of the wall and get stood up on top of the wall.
Okay. I'm very happy with Mr. Tobin Snatcher here. He's still down on the ground.
He's still down on the ground.
I would like to just take a shot at his knee. You know, me and arrows to the knee. I got a thing for it.
Yep, absolutely. I'm going to check that. I'm trying to think I'm trying to remember if it's a critical if he's prone or if you hit. Oh, sorry, if you hit, is it a critical when he's prone or is it advantage to hit?
I think it's just advantage.
I think it would just be advantage.
Yeah, I think it's just you have advantage on a prone enemy.
Yeah.
I think
I'm trying to remember which one is critical.
Hold person.
Yeah.
I think it's critical when they're death saving. Automatically 2 fails.
Yeah, that I know. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So Logan, if you're going for Monsieur, we're gonna play by this one. You've got advantage. It works as well because you're high up as well. You've got a perfect line of shot on it. Before you take your shot, what has inspired you is looking down, and you've started to see Tobin hobbling about. And the only thing that Tobin can do is try to go towards a set of boxes that you can see. First thing you see when you look at those boxes, because man, I wish I had a set of boxes that high where I was standing, but you don't. There's a taller set of boxes over there, and Tobin, for some reason, is hobbling towards the other side of those boxes. He looks like he's going towards somebody, but you didn't see who that it was because you had your back as you were climbing and turned around. Okay. But Tobin is hurt. You see him; he is hobbling, and there's a little bit of a whimper going on, and Monsieur's on the ground. So roll for advantage. Roll with attack with advantage.
15 for that one. 18 for that one. So 18.
Excellent. Okay, fantastic. That hits. Okay.
Right through the knee.
Right to the knee. Perfect.
yeah.
Great shot. It's straight into it. It is a concrete port, so you're not piercing it. So it's not like it's being buried into the ground. So it basically goes into the knee, slightly through the knee, but it's not pinning him to the ground. So what attack? Score it again.
12 for damage.
Whoop, whoop.
Okay, that is fine.
I don't think I would want to do any more movement. I think I just want to stay right where I am. I like my position.
Okay, good. With you not moving, however, the last thing you hear before you feel a massive push to the back is some footsteps creeping up on you very, very quickly. And you are being pushed now from the top of this building. Okay, it's about 2 stories high. And you are falling to the ground. Okay? As you're kind of in the air looking around, as you're about to fall, because you're kind of maybe like trying to brace yourself onto the side, see if there's a box that you can land on. All you can see is the unmistakable patchwork face of Niall.
Boy.
Oh, great.
Pushing you from
Can I
the
use a
rooftop.
reaction?
Yes, you can.
I'm gonna cast Featherfall.
Okay,
You have so
fantastic.
many spells. That's awesome.
Yep. Good. Okay, so I don't think you Misty Step's not a reaction, it was a bonus action, is that correct?
Correct.
So I don't think you'd used any reactions. So good. Good use of Featherfall, because that was going to hurt.
Shit.
Featherfall's an AoE, right?
You can choose up to 5 falling creatures.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like the opposite of Duck Hunt. Save that guy, save that guy, save that guy, that guy. Okay. Okay.
Shit, Niall has our playbook. he knows what we like.
Yeah. Logan, as you were falling, you initially had quite a sudden acceleration as you were pushed from the back, falling over the edge, looking around, seeing Niall there, expressionless face, patchwork face on that there. Not even an ounce of hatred on his face, just goal orientated. As you begin to fall, you do slow down. You slow down, and you're wondering, is this my cape? Is my cape doing this? This is, like, because you've no indication that anything has been cast on you. Just, you got this cool cape. You've never fallen from one of your elevated positions before, and you're now gliding towards the ground. So you don't know what has happened or why this is the case. It might be your cape, it might not be your cape, but you do basically land cushioned on the concrete ground that was about 2 stories below you. There was nothing there that was going to break your fall whatsoever.
Laura looks back at his cape in amazement.
Just looking forward to telling the guys, like, oh my god, guys, you should see what happened. You're never going to believe what my cape does. Okay, fantastic.
I'm Batman.
So at that point, that's great. Bo, you're now up.
All right.
You've looked out over the water. Senor is still going. Every so often, you hear a little voice from the distance going, like, "Told you I could do it."
I believe in you, buddy.
As you go
Boy,
on.
that boy can swim.
Okay.
So no, with everything that's going on, Bo's gonna be pretty
just so you know,
confused.
just need to check with you, Bo. Is that a concentration spell? Can you check for me?
Yeah. It is a concentration spell.
Okay. I'm gonna need you to roll basically maintaining concentration.
Okay.
Because of the bardic inspiration that you did, which kind of briefly distracted you. So just tell me if you get above a 10.
Yeah, no problem. I did it. 19.
Okay, excellent. Senor is still swimming,
Cool.
but you now have that in mind. It's like, oh, whoa, the difficulty of maintaining concentration as I'm doing multiple spells.
Yes.
But you are also being distracted by your loot going, yeah, shred it.
Okay, so
Okay.
Bo's so I have to concentrate. All right, so he's been taken back by the now getting in, and he was distracted. But well, he wants to go. His primary attention is towards the guy that's tried to steal Monsieur, or yeah,
Yeah, Monsieur
Mon-
tried to steal
Monsieur-
Tobin. Yeah.
yeah. So how far did he get? Like, is he within normal movement? Could I get to him?
For you, I'm going to just be a bit pedantic. Let's say he did his full course of running 30 feet.
Yeah.
You were maybe 5 feet away from him because you were closer to Mr. Asherwin than Monsieur. So a little bit more than just your normal. You'd get within 5 feet.
Gotcha. So I'm
Like dashing.
gonna. How can I get?
So if you
to
get,
Can I get to Tobin? Has he started to stumble back to or hobble back to us? That little boy.
so when Monsieur fell, Tobin got flung forward, so Tobin's a little bit further from that,
Tobin's even
and you can just see,
farther.
yeah, and you can see that he's basically hobbling back towards the box for some
Hmm.
reason.
Okay, I'm still.
So you've still got your loot, so it's got distance as well. So it's not like
I got these
that
advantages.
attack that I'm talking about. It's not a melee attack.
What's
it would be
that?
basically a
Oh,
spell.
okay. So that's
That shred.
shred.
Yeah, it's like a
Shred.
lightning attack.
Okay, so I can use shred it as an attack.
Yeah.
I still want to go save Tobin, so I'm gonna use my movement to get to as far as I can to Tobin in the box. Be like,
Okay.
and,
Cool. So as
yeah.
you're running towards the box, yep. So you go past Monsieur, and as you're about to pick up Tobin, all of a sudden somebody just grabs you from behind and basically puts a blade right up against your throat. They just saw somebody running towards Tobin. They grabbed you, pulled you back, cut your neck with the thing. The only thing you can see in front of your eye line is a red fur hand in front of you. So that's all you see. You very red fur in front of you.
Whoa. Who is this? Who's that? I'm gonna ask. Who?
Yeah, and hearing that, you see, he goes, "Oh, it's you. It's you. Okay, right. Okay." Whew. He lets you go. So basically, you turn around. It's Dusty Rusty, and basically he's just reacting. Sorry. I was just trying to make sure that Tobin was safe.
No harm, no foul. Was that you that tripped that man?
Actually, just to confirm, he didn't call him Tobin, because he didn't know you at the time.
Yeah.
So he just said save the dog. So yeah, you get the feeling like if anything, he's looking at goes like this idea of someone being taken against their will and potentially being hurt by somebody, being taken captive, has triggered him a little bit. That's why he was on edge when you came around and he grabbed you, and so he took that little bit extra notice.
We appreciate the help, Rusty. Can you hold on to Tobin? Can you take Tobin and keep him safe?
Rusty, you can tell normally he probably would be looking to help, but he is super distracted. He is really on edge at the moment. He's looking around and he keeps looking towards the ship, and he can see the guys running along the port area towards you. He's got other plans. He's got bigger priorities.
Yeah.
He was glad to be able to help, but he was helping because he was there.
Oh hell.
So you get the feeling he kind of wants to, but he's got something more important he needs to do.
Gotcha. We'll appreciate the help, and I'll take care of it from here. And I'm gonna shred it onto the prone dude.
Okay. As Dusty Rusty basically begins to walk away from you. He has a brief moment, and he gives you a little belly rub, and then runs off. Okay, yeah, and then so you're performing. You're performing that. Like, how does it sound from your perspective? This attack?
Oh, it's gonna be like a hair metal, like power chord, coming off my lute. Like it does not sound like a lute because lutes are acoustic. No, it's gonna be a sound nobody's ever heard before.
Yeah, so that's a good verbal description of it. What would it be audibly? What's the sound? So audibly, what's the sound everybody's going to hear?
It's gonna be the. Let's see. That's it's gonna be
like a hurricane.
Yep, I heard it today, and I was like, "Damn, scorpions!" Yeah. So the opening of that.
Yeah, and as that happens, basically little shots of lightning are coming off the top of it, and basically surround you in that moment of time, and you can just see them kind of just leach down, just shock down onto Monsieur as he's on the ground, and he's really, really taking a lot of damage to that. Could you roll 2d6 for me? Because even though it was a d6 attack, because he's covered in water as a sailor,
as they are, they're just all wet.
Yeah, they're always wet. Yeah.
Beautiful. That would be a 9.
9 combined, yeah?
Yes, perfect. Combined. Okay. 5 and a 4.
Cool. Okay, fantastic. Great. Misty stepped. You're behind Mr. Ash Owen, and Monsieur ran off with Tues before you could react to it, because as you were doing that, you were basically getting distracted by saving Logan getting pushed off the building. So that's why you weren't able to react to him going after Tobin. Plus, he was outside your range for an opportunity attack. So, new turn for you. What do you want to do?
As a free action, I'm going to yell to Rien, like, I got Tobin. Don't worry about him.
Yep. Cool.
I'm going to step up behind the guy that's closest to me.
Okay.
Can I use Shocking Grasp and choke him from behind?
Love it.
Without consent? Of course you can. Yeah, totally. So before this had happened, you and him had not agreed a safe word. So you're just going to step up right behind him and choke him with Shocking Grasp. Okay. You can see the water and everything dripping off him. The sea air is very much on top of him. So once again, take your Shocking Grasp damage and basically roll damage twice for it.
Before the image gets slaughtered too much, not all pirates are wet. Okay, I just wanted to be known. Tommy's not consistently soaked.
Your hair is so slick.
I believe your introduction, you walked into a bar.
Okay, that was that one time. Wet. One time a pirate walks into a bar soaking wet.
That is exactly true. Okay, so Rian, roll your damage for the Shocking Grasp twice, please.
A 1 and a 6.
Boom.
He screams like, basically the body's going rigid as well, just as as he's basically convulsing at that moment, and he has these hands around his throat. The size of his neck, extremely muscular individual, large individual, muscles earned by consistent work and the types of movements he's doing, pulling the ropes, etc. So you can feel all of those muscles in the neck as they get really, really tight. So it's not your grip or the power in your arm that's causing the damage. It's very much the shock of the electricity through him. Okay, so he takes that hit, right? Tell, while he is thinking of the moment, Claude's
Tell is back.
next section.
Tell's back.
Tell is back.
Yep, I'm back.
Oh, fantastic.
Tells
Cool.
in it.
Tell, it's your turn.
Okay. Am I in eyesight of the guy who's snatched Tobin? Is he?
You are indeed. Yep.
All right. I want to shoot him with my crossbow because you don't take our puppy. I'm John Wick. Now.
There's absolutely nothing. There's no way to better direct all attacks onto a single individual than just going, he hurt my companion, the son of a bit. Okay, so this guy is on the ground, right? He's already tripped, right? He got tripped unceremoniously. He's taken an arrow to the back of the knee.
Mm-hmm.
He just got an electric attack as well, while having to listen to the musical performance that was Bo. Yeah, with that there, and that's all happened. So he still hasn't even got a chance to get up. Like, he's fallen down and he is just getting absolutely pummeled.
Yeah,
with activity. Yeah. So roll with advantage to make sure that you can hit.
Advantage means I roll 2, pick the best of 2, right?
Correct.
15 is my better.
Yep. 15's your better. Okay. Yep. So it's gonna get a hit on him. And describe the attack. What are you going for? What are you aiming for?
I'm gonna go chest, back of chest, so his back.
His back, yeah. Back of chest, which is quite commonly known as his back. Yeah.
Yes.
You consult your medical training during this attack to go, where's it going to do the most damage? I'm going to go for the back of his chest.
Yeah. I use that, and we're gonna zero in on his. All right. 7.
So with that, that's probably the first sign of real pain that you're seeing on him as well, because that attack, which perfectly gets the back of his chest, causes him to cough up a little bit of blood. So you can see now on the ground, it's like onto that as well. Do you want to do any movement, Tal? Is there any bonus actions you want to do? Any reactions? The only other thing you noticed as well was Logon delightfully falling in a smooth, controlled manner from the rooftop.
Doctor Strange with his cape gliding.
Except horizontal and nowhere near as coordinated looking. But from your angle, even if you looked up onto the roof, you won't see anything. You'll just kind of see the edge because you're quite close to the building, so you won't have that angle of anything being up there.
Okay, I would like to move towards. I think he's pretty good. I think you guys got him handled now. I would like to move to where Claude, whoever Claude's fighting.
Okay. So Claude has basically taken the stab to the back from Mr. Ashowan. And what do you want to do?
My turn. Oh, sorry.
Sorry. Tell,
Sorry.
are you basically kind of moving behind him, just like flanking? Is that sort of movement? Just
and then I'll push my mace, get close to him enough to where I can, wherever I can go, but get close to him to where I can hit him with my mace.
So basically, it's almost a mini version of the conga line of death. You've got Claude, you've got Mr. Ashowan in the middle, and now you're on the other side of him. So anything Claude does, if he chooses to attack Mr., will be at advantage.
Okay, sounds good.
So your turn.
Hell yeah. Sorry, was that the end of it? It cut out for a second there. Okay.
Yep.
I am going to. Claude is going to. Cast Shield of Faith on himself. So I'll have 2 bonus to my AC. Mark off a spell slot. And then I'm just gonna do
What type of spell is that? Is it a bonus action
Concentration.
or
it's a bonus action, yeah.
it's a bonus action? It's a bonus action with concentration. Okay, cool.
Concentration.
Concentrate.
And then I'm just gonna do a standard attack on the dude standing in front of us, the asshole. Senor asshole? Which one was this?
That's Mr. to you.
Yeah, it's Mr. Do.
Senor's in the water.
No, I'm gonna drop the formalities and just call him asshole because it makes no difference to me. And I'm gonna roll. I get advantage, right? Because we're flanking.
You still have my bardic inspiration too.
I was gonna ask, kid, is inspiration a completely other roll?
It's a
It's a
D6 that you can add to like an
Oh,
attack.
add D6.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can
Attack or
add.
saves.
You can choose. You can choose to add to it before you know the result of the roll.
Before I know the result of the roll, but before I know the outcome, right?
outcome.
Okay. Because I rolled
Yes,
a 9
the
and a
outcome,
10.
correct.
So I'm gonna
Mhm.
add a 6 to my higher roll. A D6, which is
yeah, a D6. Yeah, okay.
I rolled a 2, so it's 12 to hit.
So no, that's not gonna hit.
Balls.
So I'm gonna say along the line of you're still feeling the damage of that basically really violent shank right under the rib cage. So it's very much affected your movement and maybe that spin around to try to locate his position. It's a bit of a rush of blood to the head, so it's led to a unusual lack of accuracy from yourself.
Boo. All right, that was my bonus and my action. I'm
Okay.
not gonna move.
Yep.
So I will
Okay.
end my turn.
End your turn. Okay. Which leaves it straight away to Mister. So Mister is directly in front of you, and what you see is the hook that he took out from that he had hit you with. So it's a small hook. It's about the length of your forearm, and it's got a curved blade at the end of it. It's what's called a guff hook. So for anyone listening, imagine fishermen trying to reel in a very, very large fish, and they just reach down and it's got a curved blade, jam it into the side of the fish, and use that to drag it up onto the boat. That's what he's swinging at the moment with you with that. And he's going to take another swing at yourself, Claude. But he is going to roll a natural 1 with that there. So how does this affect it? I'm going to roll a d6. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Tell 1, 2, 3. What's the result of his really bad roll? 4, 5, 6. Claude, what's the result of his really bad roll?
Go ahead, Tell.
2.
Oh, no. What would the outcome be? I'll roll the number. I'll roll the number. You tell me what happens. How does it go wrong for him? Or how could it go wrong for him?
How could it go wrong?
Explain what he's about to do. Sorry.
He's basically taking a massive. He's basically taking a massive swing at Claude with this guff hook weapon. Yep.
Oh.
But it's a critical fail. So.
Okay, got it. So he goes to swipe it up, and then his shoulder comes out of socket.
Okay. Very good. Very good. Claude.
Claude would parry him, catch the hook with his sword, and whip it out of his hand to disarm him.
Okay. Very good. Very good. That's another 1. So basically, Tell, when you see him going for this massive swing, you hear almost this really kind of disgusting sort of his shoulder goes limp, and you don't hear a lot of pain from him, so you get the feeling that this is not the first time he's dislocated that shoulder. It's probably actually quite a weak shoulder for him. So he's like trying to jam it back into position. So doesn't take damage, but it does impair his next movement as he's trying to basically, pop it back into place. So it's disabled his attack on the next turn as opposed to losing the weapon. But it's no damage. Okay.
Perfect.
Good. Thank you very much for that.
Is he right-handed or left-handed?
He's right-handed. So, that shoulder. Okay. Fantastic. Senor, now in the water, going for another wisdom saving throw, has a sudden realization, goes, what the hell am I doing out in this water? And he looks, and he's stuck in the middle of the thing. He goes, like he's having flashbacks of whenever his absentee father didn't believe in his swimming abilities. So that's what triggered him into proving himself in this moment. And he goes, what the hell am I doing? And so he looks over and he sees the boat and he sees the port area. So he's basically swam out from the docks and he's kind of in this area, almost here. So he's going to spend the rest of his turn swimming towards the edge of the pier and pulling himself back up onto it. But he's absolutely exhausted. So you can see him having to take a moment and go, but he's back in it. And if anything, he just uses it to once again get the attention and to coordinate the guys who are running along the far pier towards you. Okay? The Senor. Monsieur Pincushion on the ground basically has to use half of his movement just to get up. And it's a real struggle. He's taking an arrow to the knee. His clothes are singed. He's taken a proper bonk to the head. His hands and his knees are scuffed from just unceremoniously tripping and sliding along the ground. And he's just going to just try to do his equivalent of a dash back towards the far pier. It's a limp, so he's not getting his full double movement. He's getting about like 3/4 of that. So of the distance. So he's not quite reached the edge of the pier, but he's hobbling and stumbling his way back there. But that's all he's doing. He's just basically running away at the moment.
Is he leaving Tobin alone?
Yeah, he's not. He's taken. So much has happened since he made this very, very wise decision to try to steal a dog.
Yeah.
That he's like, no, I'm just out of here.
Good.
So he's just going for it. Okay. So, which brings us up to the top. Logan, you have fallen gracefully onto the ground, and Tell has made his way towards you. What do you want to do?
Tell's towards me?
Yeah, so I think Tell was.
I went towards Claude.
No, he went towards Claude. Sorry, I thought he was going to help pick you up. So no, you were on your own. You've gracefully fallen. You know that the reason you fell was Niall up on the rooftop. You believe the reason you fell softly was because of your cloak. Okay. It was going to take half of your movement to stand up.
Okay. And can I just check and see if I can still see Niall up on top of the roof?
Yeah. In the time you're going down, he basically used his movement to get away. You don't know what direction he went.
Okay.
You were the only ones that had eyes on him, but as you began to fall and then get distracted by the cloak, you saw him just looking at you, just no expression on the patchwork face whatsoever, and then no longer in your eye line.
Do I have enough movement to make it towards Claude and Tell?
So you've used half your movement to stand up. You won't be beside them. So say about another 20 feet away from them, because you ran towards the building and then up and then got pushed off the other side. So you kind of slightly had to go around the corner as well towards that.
Okay. And the dog snatcher, he's running away, but they're still facing Monsieur or whichever asshole he is over there.
Mr. is the
Mr.
one. Mr. is beside Claude and Tal. Monsieur is the one that's making his way towards the dock. So there's a lot of sort of boxes and things in the way, so you wouldn't have really a clear shot on him from that distance. What you can see though, looking more to your left, so instead of forward towards where Monsieur is running, because that port comes around to that direction, you can instead look this way across the water, as you can see across the water, and you can see that it's about 60 to 80 feet straight line of between you and the boat where more of these individuals are starting to run off. And run off the boat, and you can basically tell that they're coming your way.
Oh yeah.
Man, I'm not sure what to do. I have no clear shot of anyone. I can't really move anywhere. I don't have any awesome spells like the rest of you guys.
From his position, is he in range to shoot Mr. Asshole between the two guys?
I thought he said no.
No, you're not clear to Monsieur, the one who stole the dog, right? You can, but you are having to shoot past Tell. So if you go for it, it is a higher difficulty shot, i.e., a higher armor class to beat.
Yeah, I'm not gonna risk that.
If you miss it bad enough, you're gonna hit Tell.
What about
What
about Mr. Asshole that's sandwiched between Claude and?
That's who I'm talking about.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
I thought we were talking about Monsieur, the one that ran.
Monsieur's way over the far end, running away. There's
yeah.
a bunch of boxes. He can't see that. But he could, if he wanted, try to aim at Mister. But it is the risk because he's having to shoot past Tell.
Can he ready in action?
Can. Yep. So Logan, ready in action basically is the equivalent of taking an educated risk that if X happens, I will do this. Okay? There's no guarantee that will happen between this turn and your next turn. So if that situation does not happen, basically you won't, in a sense, have done an action between that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing. I like that.
Yeah. So imagine like a sniper, like in a movie, looking and goes, just get out of the way. Just I can take the shot if you get out of the way. But if it comes back to your turn and he's still not out of the way, you've effectively wasted. You won't have used your full action economy. Yep.
Well, I'm going to use the remainder of my movement to get as close to Claude and Tell as I can, and then ready in action to shoot Mister.
Okay, fantastic. So shooting Mister basically if Tell gets out of the way.
Yes.
Is that what you're searching? Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
That's exactly what I'm going for.
Excellent. What you can do to help that happening is shout. Shout to Tell. Tell him what you're going to do.
Oh, I always forget about dialogue in this game, you know?
I'm just so busy killing people.
I'm just so busy shooting arrows.
Your character's a chatty Cathy. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm the life of this party. Yeah, so Logan will also shout to Tell to duck and get out of the way.
Okay, cool.
I like
so
that.
Tell, by the time your turn comes around, you can either remember to do that or not do that or try to do something different. But you've got an intended instruction from Logan that gives an indication of what he wants to do. Okay? Gotcha. So we'll come back to that whenever it's your turn.
Remind me, Logan, because I'm going to forget.
I will.
Okay. And that's actually fine because you could have done the whole sort of metagames like, no, you can't remind them because it's not your turn, blah, blah, blah. But a round is only 6 seconds long. So it's really not that long for you to have actually remembered that someone shouted, "You get out of the way! I'm trying to shoot this guy." Okay, nobody's short-term memory is hopefully that bad. Okay, so Bo, you're up.
Okay, so
you're beside Dusty Rusty. Tobin is basically kind of making his way towards the two of you, still hobbling. You're starting to hear a bit more of a whimper now because Monsieur has run off. So you can start to hear now Tobin's whimper. And he's doing that thing where he's like really, really, you can tell when they're anxious, and they're really, really close to you and just kind of leaning up into you, and the paw is basically kind of limp and stuff. And he's got those big, wide puppy dog eyes. He's like,
all right, I'm gonna.
Why did this happen to me?
Shred him.
Goodness, I don't have that.
The loot turns evil. Execute orders.
Jealous. I wish I could be a puppy. No, I'm gonna use. So first, I'm gonna use my bonus action to cast Healing Word at level 1 on Tobin. So I'm gonna strum a little soothing lute sound.
Yeah. Cool. And, can you roll 2d8 for me, please, before the spell goes off?
I can't wait to get. I need to get a new lute. That is a 14, which is also new, I believe.
Yay.
Any animal that this was used on.
Okay.
Explodes.
Yeah. So all you hear before you cast the spell, Bo, is sex, drugs, and banjo. Sex, drugs, and banjo.
Sex, drugs, and banjo.
Okay.
Tobin's favorite.
And can you roll a d20 for me, please?
Please don't tell me I'm attacking Tobin. Because that's a 17.
Okay. You started to get really, really weak for the moment, almost like a strange sensation of intoxication.
Yeah.
That you nearly felt like you were about to pass out from.
Okay.
But you didn't. You just held your concentration well enough that you really felt it for a second, as if almost like you'd been under the influence of something.
Yeah.
For a brief moment. But with that other roll, you did not actually pass out.
Okay, great.
So, thankfully, no ramifications. The funny, as we go through them, there are ones that could go really badly.
Okay.
Here, Tobin, have a healing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I got to get Grandpa's banjo fixed. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and strum him a little lullaby, soothing. And that would be, so he is healed for 7 points of damage, and hopefully that fixes his little, not fixes, but
it
calms him down, so I don't have to make a handling check with my action next, which is
it was fine. You don't have to use it in that sense. It was a very calming lullaby. Our musical interlude. And you can tell Tobin is a bit unsure about it because he doesn't understand magic, but he's like,
yeah,
it doesn't feel it. And he kind of starts to put his paw on the ground. You can see that little reaction as he's afraid of it hurting his paw, but then eventually plants his foot down and starts to feel a bit better. And basically just comes up and he's doing that kind of backing his butt into your leg and super duper wiggly and shaky. So yeah, very, very appreciative.
Great. I'm gonna give him a couple scratches on the butt and side and belly, and I'm gonna pick him up and I'm gonna hold on to him for a second. Can I see the people coming from the dog?
Yeah.
Can I? So
you can.
How many? Can I make a perception check, or can I tell how many are coming?
No, you can pretty clearly see it. There's about 6 coming.
6
your way.
Right. Yeah. So I'm gonna take Tobin and I'm gonna dash back. Use my full action to dash, and I'm gonna make my way back to Claude.
What was the heal bonus?
Yeah, so healing word is a bonus action.
Excellent. Cool. Right. Cool. It's always sort of good practice as well for me, just to make sure that the action economy gets used. So appreciate you guys having that ready. Okay. Bo, you've noticed at least 6 guys storming down that part of the pier towards where Monsieur is running towards.
Mm-hmm.
And as you turn around to walk away, you also, that's basically the exact moment that you see Senor pushing himself out of the water. Like nowhere near as gracefully or sexy as like James Bond coming out of the water. Just he's exhausted. It's really awkward and pushing himself out. And he makes brief eye contact with you just before you turn around. So because you were the one that gave him a suggestion, so he recognizes. He goes, "Oh, that's the guy that triggered my daddy issues." Yeah. So yeah.
As I turn heel, I wave and go back. I'm gonna dash back towards the group. I know it was kind of like within. Anyway, I'm gonna So
the closest one you're coming up to, the first one you're gonna come up to would be Rian. Anyway,
I'm gonna.
She was closest. Yeah.
There's a lot more coming. I don't know if we want to stay. I don't know if we want to stay here, guys. Anyway, that's. Just trying to engage.
I've said my bit. And that's all I've got to say about that.
I don't know.
Kind of committed now.
Well, maybe we can.
Are you sure? I'm in the middle of something here.
You do your thing.
Pineapple.
And that's my turn. I'm gonna get back to.
The best one I heard for that, you said pineapple, Storm. The best one I ever heard for that was meatloaf. Have you heard that one?
Meatloaf.
Because I'll do anything for love, but I won't do that.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Love it.
Okay, fantastic. So Bo, with Tobin in hand, has basically run towards Rian, run towards Claude, run towards Tell in that group of ones. And they're all there. Senor is coming up out of the water. There's at least 6 guys plus Monsieur at the far end of the dock area. Yep. Okay. And Bo, as you are saying that, see a dark blur. Okay. Jumping down from the roof towards Logan. Okay? Logan, I'm going to need you to do a dexterity saving throw. I'm going to ask you to do it with disadvantage because you are not prepared. You weren't looking up. You didn't see where this was coming from. So you're going to have a very, very split-second window to try to react.
So disadvantage just means I roll 2 and pick the lower one, right? Is that what that?
Yes.
That's exactly what it means. Yeah.
24 and 22. Sorry.
Sorry. I'm just too good.
Sorry, not sorry.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's better. It's skill diff.
He got the better of him at once.
I maxed out dexterity on this character, right?
That's exactly it. He got the better you once. He didn't get you a second time. Okay. Logan, what was it that just caught your attention just in enough time?
Just a shadow appearing at my feet.
Yeah.
So see something above me.
Yeah. So you kind of look down, and on the ground there was this growing shadow, right at your feet, and you just dodge out of the way. And right at the point where you were, you see Niall land on the ground, perfectly in a standing position, but you do hear a very, very significant crack of one of his legs, but no expression on his face. Because he's just jumped from a 2-story window or 2-story building onto the concrete ground. You were supposed to break his fall. He landed on his feet. No superhero landing, no parkour, knee roll, nothing like that. He thought he had you. He wasn't prepared for that. Lands on his feet. You hear a very, very significant crack on the leg, but no expression on his face. Okay?
This guy shows no emotion.
Okay, Tal. No, sorry, Rian. Rian currently has Mr. Sizzling in her hands. What do you want to do? You've heard Bo's warning. Yeah. So basically, if you were to look at the picture, say you're at these sort of buildings. I'm going to take off Monsieur at the moment. You kind of know what these guys look like. About here at these warehouses, this is the dock where Senor is climbing up out of the water. This is the pier that all these other guys are running down towards, and Monsieur's closer to here. So basically, you could kind of at least look to run off in another direction. You haven't been to this part of the town before. Where you guys would have known to be Claude's is pretty much over here. So it's this opposite direction. So you're kind of having to run away in a direction you don't know. Right across the courtyard area, like the same area that you came in, you just know that you'd be running at an angle that is technically towards them a little bit. I know it's at an angle, so you're still looking to get away from them, but it is still, in the grand scheme of things, towards them.
Okay.
Staggerford Geography lesson has been brought to you by
The more you know.
Yes,
Well, now
I'm just gonna bludgeon the guy I'm holding in the head. My quarterstaff.
That is the most calm I've ever heard that said. I'm just gonna bludgeon him. You know, yeah, seems like the right thing to do. You gotta do. Okay, so basically, you had your hands around his throat, and then you've just went quarterstaff, and you're just going. Okay, so swing to hit, please.
13.
with advantage because Claude's like Claude's there and Tel's there. I know it's not exact angles, but there's basically three of you surrounding the guy. There's no way he's totally focused.
Okay. 19 then.
Yeah, good. That one does work. So quarterstaff, full swing. We're going for like bonk in the head, across the back of the ear, you know, sort of like base of the skull area, back of his knees, lower back. What are you thinking?
I think I will actually swipe across into the side of his head.
Yeah.
Cool.
For 7 damage.
Yeah, so get him there, and that sort of targeted, that sort of, let's call it descriptive or flavor to the hit gives me stuff that I can work with as well. So in this case, basically, if you're smacking somebody right in the ear, like anytime in boxing, he's going to be disoriented. He's like, oh, you know, so it's not the hardest hit in the world, but he's like, you know, so it's really going to hit onto that. So, okay, fantastic. Right, Tell. You heard something as you were going along. Yeah.
Got it. I'm going prone.
Like, is it full on like drag race death drop, or are you going to do the splits, or are you just going to curl up into a ball? You know what?
I'm going to do a burpee. Just drop down in like a push-up position.
Excellent.
Not jump up. The jump up part.
Right to the back. Okay, cool. Okay, so straight down into almost like a mini plank / push-up position. Okay, Logan, roll the hit. You see your opportunity. Tell's got out of the way. You're waiting for him to get out of the way. You've got a clean line of sight. It would have to be if you roll a 5 or lower, it is Rian that you're getting, because she's off to the side. But it'll have to be a really.
I got a 22.
Yeah, it has to be a really bad miss. Yeah. Do your dice like start at like 20?
I rolled a 13.
Yeah.
Plus 9.
Yeah, no, yeah. It's like when I say roll a d20, it's not start at 20 and then just add whatever number you want. Okay. So yeah, good. So really good hit that. So basically, Mister has taken this shot to the head. Yeah. Where's your arrow going? non-fatal arrow at the moment, so it's not going to kill him. So no, perfect, like through the middle of his eyes. But where do you want to aim for?
Right into his shoulder.
Right into his shoulder. Okay. So this is the shoulder that's still dislocated. It still hasn't actually got back into its socket yet. So this guy's got a dislocated shoulder. He took a massive smack to the ear, and he's now going to look down. And while he's trying to fix this shoulder, he's going to find that an arrow pierces through that shoulder. He's like, "Oh, there's no way I'm getting back into that socket now." It's literally being like pinned out from it. It's like someone's taken like a paper clip and just went, "Nope, your arm's out here now."
Oh.
Okay, fantastic. Can you roll for damage, please?
And 12 for damage again.
Oh yeah.
Is that the same guy with an arrow in his chest as well?
Yeah.
He's got a little arrow in his chest.
Just a little
Okay.
one.
Yeah. Okay. At this point, with it being Mister's turn, not even he's dumb enough to keep fighting here. He is just going to bolt out of here. In doing that, Claude, Rian, and Tell all have opportunity attacks to try to take him out. But this is sheer desperation for this guy. He's got to get out. He's basically being ground pound. He's got a dislocated shoulder that is now not going back in until he has some form of surgery to actually remove the arrow that's keeping it out of socket. So let's go Claude, Rian, and Tell. All roll me a d20, please.
Could we roll in order to see if all of them aren't needed, just in case we don't want to use a reaction? Or
Okay, let's go with roll, and then whoever has the highest will do that as the order. Okay, because it's
Okay.
almost like the speed of reaction to that. Okay, so whoever gets highest. If it's not high enough, then it just means you're all going to miss, because you're kind of waiting to see, does Claude hit, does Rain hit? You don't have, it's a bit more split second than, oh, Claude missed, now I can go, oh, Rain took a shot, she missed, I'm going to go. It's a bit quicker than that. So
Yeah.
D20, please,
Claude rolled
for
a
each
10.
of you.
18.
I'll go 19 and Rain got a 2. Okay, Tell, you're the only one that's going to hit at the moment. So what are you doing to try to get him away? What is your attack? Basically, as he's just about to get out of your reach, you're kind of lunging to do something. What are you doing?
I pop up, I finish my burpee, and I swipe at him with my mace on his right side,
Yep.
and just like smack his like neck area
Okay.
right above his right shoulder.
Perfect.
Um,
Oh, roll for damage.
5.
Damage. Okay, fantastic. So he's taken this shot to the same neck shoulder area that has already, in the space of a couple of seconds, been shocked, arrowed, and now basically bludgeoned with the mace. And he's just bolting it down this street, right? He's just running straight towards that corner, which you don't know at the moment, but the reason he's going there is because he knows that his captain went that direction. So that's why he's basically cutting across the port area in that direction. So he's kind of pushed through you guys. Claude and Rian both missed with their attacks. And because you were going for that. So, and Claude, you were talking about if we need it. So we didn't die. So you all basically had to use your reaction to do that. 2 of you missed. Tell didn't. And he is dashing. Not being handsome. He is running really quickly in the direction of where he thinks the captain is.
I'm handsome too. We can be both 2 things.
Okay, cool. So good reaction on that he's used his entire movement to run off that way. Okay. Senor is using his entire movement to get towards the end of the dock. It's not that long of a dock compared to the other ones. He's had to use his own movement because he is exhausted. he used all of his energy in his swim to defend his pride. But that ego in his suggestion has cost him. So he just makes it towards the edge of the pier area, which is his turn. Monsieur just keeps limping, and he's just going to let these 6-7 guys just run past him. Like he's going to act as if he's like giving instructions, but no one's really listening. He goes, yeah, that way, get him. The guys just run past him anyway. So it's not really an authority, or at least a respect in there. So it's Monsieur's turn. Okay. Right. Logan, your turn.
Are we ever to get Tommy in here? Like, poor guy.
I know he's over there.
He's over.
Yeah.
Yeah, where is Tommy currently? Is he being brought onto a boat, or is he on the dock?
No, he's being dragged out of the courtyard area back towards in the general direction of the square and the Marcel house, that sort of general direction.
So wait. So when I attack the main dude with his the 4 pirates that grab me are not taking me towards the docks, or taking me more into town?
Yes, taking more into town because the captain had talked about you're going to meet the boss today.
Okay.
All right. The main activities have been Mr. Ashowan making his break towards the corner of the dock. Tommy just knows he's being moved around at the moment. He's still pretty dazed. He's still pretty. He's basically been surrounded by these 4 guys at the same time. So he kind of just all he can sort of feel is the feel of the concrete on his toes as he's basically being dragged along somewhere. And yeah, so that is that. And Monsieur was busy riding people, trying to rally the troops. Logan, you are standing right there beside Niall, right after you heard that almighty crack in his leg, and he's just looking at you.
I just shot an arrow over Tell, but I turn around, I see Niall. Okay. I would like to go ahead and cast Hunter's Mark on him. Oh, I actually read it. Refresh. Should have done that while you were gone. That would have been smart. Deal an extra D6 of damage.
Rip his face off.
Yeah, and then I would like to go in with my daggers. I have 2 daggers, so it's hit for each dagger. Roll hit for each dagger.
No, it is 1 dagger at a time. It's not necessarily a 2-handed attack. You have 2 daggers in case you throw one. Okay. As opposed to going in double-handed.
Well, I'm just gonna go for a dagger attack on him.
Roll for an attack.
See, there's 11 for attack.
Yeah. So what you notice is that when trying to do that, he's not wearing a lot of armor, but he's still strangely got the speed of his movement, but it's almost like a basketball player where he's kind of pivoting on one foot. So he's almost like whenever you're trying to do attacks. So basically you're trying to stab at him, he's just dodging, right? He hasn't moved from his spot, but like a basketball player, he's pivoted on the one foot, and that's what he's using to basically dodge the attacks from yourself. Okay? Hold on. When you look down, you do notice that out of one of the top corners of his pocket, there's almost like the equivalent of like a pocket here. There's a small bulge in that pocket, and at the bottom of the pocket you can see what looks like a blood stain that's kind of seeping out. So imagine like somebody had like a pen that had burst in their pocket, and you can see the ink at the bottom. So there's a very small bulge in that chest pocket, and blood basically just dripping down, seeping into his shirt.
Well, that's some
has.
dark foreshadowing. All right.
You got red on you.
Shaun of the Dead.
Okay, cool. So Logan, you basically did a small bit of movement to get in close. You tried to go for an attack, it missed. Are you looking to back away?
Yes. Yep. I would like to use the rest of my movement to get as much distance away from him as I can.
Okay, cool. He's going to get, if you do that, he's going to get an opportunity attack. You still going to choose to move?
What the heck? Yeah, I am.
Yeah. Okay, cool. That was a nat 20. So as you try to move away, the only thing that he does is you see him go down to one knee and he takes a dagger, and as you're turning to run away, you get a cut right at that Achilles tendon, right at the back of the foot.
Question.
So you go straight down. So it's only, in terms of pain, it's not a lot of hit points, but the critical part of it is that it's basically caused you to go prone.
I thought this cloak had eyes on its back.
Hold on, I need to ask. Is he within 10 feet, and can I impose disadvantage with protection on opportunity attacks?
Within 10 feet of you, or within 10 feet of
right.
Logan?
Am I within 10 feet of Logan and Niall?
They're about 20 feet away from you, because they're
okay.
Because you're at the corner of the building where he got pushed off, and you guys were kind of in front of the building, so almost that slight little sort of, you can still see him, but it's a little bit around the corner. So it's more than 10 feet of distance in that. Yeah. So
how much damage do I take?
Yeah, so Logan, you're going to take 4 points of damage. So it doesn't seem like a huge amount. Like it because it got cut clean through. You almost in a way don't feel as much pain because it's just the clean cut, like a surgical cut. But you go prone. You go oomph, you go straight down onto the ground. Your next turn is going to start with you prone.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. However, it's now Niall's turn.
Oh, fantastic.
And Niall stands up, and with a slow hobble, he's just going to roll with advantage. And in the closest sign that you've seen that he's picking up information as he goes along, he's going to go for your knee.
I'm going to throw a reaction out there of cutting words. Use one of my bardic inspiration, which is a reaction. I roll d6, and you're going to subtract it from whatever the roll is, and it came out to be a 6.
Cool. So he's rolling with advantage, but both of them will be a -6 as well. Yep.
Sure.
Because of the cutting words, he only rolled an 8. Because he had rolled a 14, and the full -6 takes it down to 8. Okay? So he doesn't. It's not a case that he misses you. It's a case that he's distracted by the cutting words that Bo says. So Bo is now his focus.
Good.
Okay.
You guys have my back this game.
So okay. So yeah. So you don't get any consequences for all of your knee attacks. But Bo's distraction is the reason that you did not take a dagger right to the knee. You are prone though because your Achilles tendon basically got cut quite badly. Okay, so it's going to affect the amount of movement you can do for the rest of this until you get some healing. Okay,
makes sense.
Bo, you used your reaction cutting words.
Yes.
Niall now is completely focused on you. He used the remainder of his movement, but quite slowly and quite labored. Once again, the face does not give it away. how focused he is. Like it doesn't change. Like he's completely focused on you.
Yeah.
But this physical form is not allowing him to move at the speed that he wants to. So it's your turn now.
It is my turn now. So I still have Tobin in hand. He is now focused in on me. What is this? I think what I'm gonna do. So I have him in. You know what? I'm gonna cast Hideous Laughter. I think that'd be hilarious to see Niles fall prone laughing. So he has to make a wisdom saving throw. 14.
17.
Okay, so that fails. Great.
Yeah,
Which is-
unfortunately.
Nah. So I'm gonna.
It's one of those ones. Even thematically, it kind of works.
Yeah.
And
I
why
hear
some
you.
of that? I didn't do it just for it being thematically, but if anything, storyline wise, you could look at it and go, whatever has broken him mentally, might have had an impact on the effectiveness of that type of an attack as well.
Great. Yeah.
Was that a bonus action or was that an action, that spell?
That would be my action.
He does not know humor.
Is he within? So if I were to.
Can you roll 2d8 for me, please?
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't going to use my loot because I still have my.
Oh, you didn't? Sorry. So you didn't use the loot. Cool, that's fine.
What I guess, narratively speaking, I was thinking he was going to try to tell a joke, but it was just not going to be good.
Fine. That's fine. Okay, no, and that's fine. Like I'm not as strict on that because it makes sense. There's certain spells where you have to use something to do it, like you're playing an instrument. Other ones, if it's just a verbal component,
which is what
at that point. Yeah,
it is.
At that point, you just get the jealous.
Okay. So if I were to walk away or step away, is he within? Would I get an opportunity attack? Would he come at me?
He's still about 10 feet away from you.
Okay.
Because like I said, he was not far away, but his movement's been significantly damaged.
Sounds good. I'm gonna hoof it, kind of be towards Claude and Tell, kind of like behind them, in between the three of us, I guess. I'm gonna just get behind them.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna set Tobin down.
Yeah. At that moment, you hear a large booming voice from behind you. It's large, but it's a very large, powerful voice, but not necessarily a shout. Like you just sense the sheer presence of a voice behind you. It's from across the courtyard area behind you guys. You see Mr. Ash Owen now beside the captain or this individual, and behind them there's 4 other individuals, and the other groups of individuals are starting to make their way. That they haven't reached you guys yet, and he's just gonna look at you and just go, I would really prefer you didn't break my toy, so I'm going to give you the opportunity to step away. You meet the rest of my crew, and just to give you a little bit of extra incentive, he takes a step to the side, and there's Tommy, unconscious, under the thing, and he just places a dagger right underneath Tommy's throat. I think I'm a fair man. I could be looking for compensation for injuries sustained by my crew, but
Mike cut out. But...
You really cut out there.
Oh, sorry.
The last part.
I'm gonna advise you take the opportunity to step away.
I was gonna think Bo's going to speak up. That he's. I hear you. We hear you. That is our friend. I think we can both come to an agreement. Let Tommy go, and we will leave y'all be. Fair is fair. Blood for blood.
I think that's a fair starting point to negotiation. Let me provide a counteroffer, though. Position to be negotiating.
Sorry, what was that?
My
You're
friend.
far away. What?
Yeah. He's. Did you hear that? Did you not hear the mic cut out?
It cut out just a little bit.
Cut out. But I'm just gonna go with the normal one. So yeah. So it's basically the idea that you're not in a position to negotiate, and Tommy was my friend first, so I think I'll be keeping him. So Tommy knows who his real family is. He knows who's going to look after him. You've known him for a week? Just over a week? I've known him since he was a boy. A young man. I helped raise him.
You have to hold a knife to his throat. He doesn't seem much like family. You don't seem much like family.
You know what he did to help my family?
Tommy,
Do you know what you did to help my family? Marcel?
I've been on the road. Maybe you could fill me in, bud.
No. I don't think I will. Seems like it's a private matter. You're going to get a little bit of a scurry now because from behind Niall, all of a sudden, he makes a jump towards Niall.
Hell yeah.
Niall swivels on the spot.
You do it.
And is able to
Don't
catch
do it.
Dusty by the throat. And he just, before doing anything, he looks back at the captain. And this is probably the first moment that you realize this is where Niall gets his orders from.
Tommy, in this moment, still short of breath, still trying to put a sentence together, kind of comes to, sees Niall catch him, and goes, "Don't. I'll go. Just let him go." Tommy, very aware, knows exactly the history of the guy and the order that will probably come. So Tommy just, obviously still being held up by everybody's. I'll go, and he gives a look directly into Claude's eyes, and just the very shortest like just a quick no. Don't try to fight what could transpire.
Rian's gonna cast message at this point and send a quick message to Tommy. We'll come find you.
And then Tommy looks over to message can't be sent back, right? If I don't know how to do message,
Yeah,
You reply.
I can reply.
You can reply. But Rian's the only one that'll get it. It's like a direct line between you two.
So Tommy says back, it would be worse than you can imagine to fight this. I understand. I'll be ready. And that's all he sends back.
And just gives him a nod.
Isn't that a very touching moment? To see my boy wanting to come back into the fold. Well, let our furry friend go. He looks at him and he's got a look of recognition as he looks over towards Dusty and goes, how's the neck feeling? How's the wrists? How's the ankles? Keeping well? Keeping well? Run along, little pussycat. You know, so Niall is letting Dusty down, Dusty down, but he's still very much holding his throat. So he's got him on his knees, and this is the first sign of weakness that you've sort of seen in Niall as well, because he's taken so much damage. But it's tension in his hand around Rusty's throat. Tell you, obviously, with the experiences with Rusty as well, you know those bruises that he has, you know that sort of permanent pain that you have in that area from shackles. Mm-hmm. So you know that not only is it the physical trauma of always being in a bit of pain from that, you know there's a real psychological triggering in that, because now you are being gripped again in what feels like an unescapable clasp around your throat. Mm-hmm. And you know, Rusty's looking, he's catching your eye. None of the joy is there anymore. The anger that was there from earlier on is dissipated into weakness, and he's beginning, like, it's getting very, very short here. He's just on his knees at the moment. What does anybody want to do to try to convince the captain to give the order and do his part of the bargain?
He said he wanted money, right? Did he say that?
He just wants you to.
Tommy.
He said he could demand compensation, but he's a generous, fair man who understands that scuffles like this happen, especially on shore leave. So he's going to give you one opportunity to step away. And as this is happening, there's still also the very, very real rumbling in the skyline from the volcano at the other side of the town. So you basically have to make a call right now. You know, Rusty's life is slipping away in Niall's hands, but Tommy's on the other side of that, and he's about to potentially being, you know, kidnapped by that side of things. You've got this real divide in there. You guys are physically caught in the middle, as well as this massive impending looming disaster. And what attracts you for a split moment away from this dilemma is a real large shaking of earth, like almost like an earthquake, but there's no physical shaking around you. It's the sound, it's the sensation of it happening. Because before, when we looked at the clouds and there was the tussle and they were all fighting together, etc., and the lava was coming down, you're starting to notice that some of the rock and that volcano is splitting away. But instead of tumbling down the mountainside, as you would expect some massive rocks, you instead see this ship escaping from the side of the mountain. It is absolutely ginormous. The scale and the perspective is messing with your head at the moment. The closest thing you've seen to a similar size was probably the forest dragon manifestation of Danu from earlier on in your adventure. But this is now clambering down the mountainside and is about, it's a very far away, but the fact that you can still see it from that distance is what gives you the scale that is messing with your perspective. So you're in a moment at the now. You can see this happening on the horizon. You can see the life drifting away from Dustin. You can see Tommy being incapacitated with the family. You're going to have a brief moment to think about it in your head, and then you're going to make a call and then
What?
the reaction will play out in our next session.
I want to help Rusty and Dusty. Rusty Dusty.
Yeah,
Somehow,
that's
somehow.
what else.
Claude lowers his weapon and says, "Leave him alone. You've got what you want."
Rian would have asked Claude if we could go back to his father's house so that he can start sending messages out to the city to evacuate and we can regroup.
As long as
So, Claude, the captain looks at you and she says, "Now that's the prompt decision making that I expect from a Marcel mercantile family member. I'm proud of you, boy. You do your daddy proud." And you can tell, like, there's an element of admiration, but there's definitely a guy who knows he's in control of the situation and is absolutely playing it up. Logan, you are flat on the ground while all this is happening. You're basically looking at this from the flat of your stomach, just kind of looking up at this. Do you want to say anything? Are you keeping quiet? What do you think at the moment?
My next move was going to be to roll over and shoot Niall, but that's all I got right now.
Okay.
That'll be next session, I'm guessing.
Tell. You were looking at Rusty Dusty. Are you trying to convey any message to him, or are you just sort of looking at him with sympathy, fear? How are you sort of feeling at the moment?
I don't know if there's a way. I am looking at him with sympathy and like fear, because I don't want him to be hurt. And I give him a slight nod, like, "We're gonna be okay. Like, we'll help you." And is Niall still got him by the throat? Or is he
But so when I'm talking about that, this is all happening kind of like in a very, very short period of time. So it's not like he's been choking him for the last couple of minutes. This is, it's like Claude thinking, Logan's thinking, Tell's thinking. They're all kind of all happening simultaneously, like in a round.
Mm-hmm.
Bo, any sort of reaction from yourself, and then I'll basically. Rian had already said to Claude about going to the father's house.
Can I do
Tom, and then Tom?
I'd like to do an insight check on how the captain responded to Claude about making his daddy proud and
Okay, go for it.
That's nat 20.
So your insight is that look of pride when it's like recognizing a friend.
Mm-hmm.
Like if your friend had a kid and your kid started to act like your friend, you'd be like,
yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I feel like that affirms his suspicions of like how is Niall here after we left him at the Marcel's home. Just like, yeah. And who he is and how he just said that. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's I'm not gonna go much beyond that.
Okay. Tommy, you're starting to come around. You've started to kind of you've been able to, you've had a message with Ray and you've given a signal out towards Claude. You've been able to catch your breath because you haven't been moved or dragged around. For example, it was 2 punches, it was a short period of time. But you're finally sort of coming aware again. How are you sort of looking to diffuse this situation, or at least buy yourself some time?
So Tommy made that call out of just to go, and then kind of looks at the captain and said they're backing down. Just let it be. Just let it be.
I mean, because we can whip their ass.
Whisper words of wisdom.
Yeah, and so the captain looks down at you, and for a very brief moment, you saw it kind of rush of blood to the eyes. Like he's had one of his, this face, like he's had one of his thoughts. He's like, this could be really fun. thought, but you recognize he's got what he's wanted at the moment, and 3 of his top guys have taken an absolute battering. He's done a cost-benefit analysis, and he's just happy enough to believe that these guys have learned their lesson. I've got Tommy. None of my guys are dead. Business. Stop acting like it's personal. This is a business decision now.
And then, if I'll wait for you. I was gonna say, I was gonna say, if that concludes it, and him and the soldiers are starting to walk away, because only Claude and Rand were actually looking at me, everyone else seemed to be looking at some other stuff. You can see an understanding in Tommy's face, but you haven't seen there's absolute fear in his eyes, because he fully understands what he thinks is going to happen, but he also, on his face, you see an understanding that this was not the fight you guys were going to be able to take and win. So he's accepting of it, but if you look into his eyes, you can see for the first time like fear from even the shit that we've seen, big ass dragons, whatever. Like there was some scaredness of Tommy, but like you see true understanding of fear for Tommy as the guy, like, see 2 guys under his arms, and he's just kind of being like pulled away back towards wherever they're going.
Exactly it. So yeah, so a lot of Tommy's reactions to date probably were, no, that's crazy, or a little bit of swagger, whether it was real or an act. That's not there anymore. That's not there at the moment for Tommy. It's very, very somber. It's for the first time you can see Tommy almost afraid to speak up in case fear of what the consequences to him saying something would be. Other times he runs his mouth and stuff happens and react to it. He's tight-lipped because one wrong sentence could undo a lot of what he's grown to love and enjoy from this part of his life. Tommy is being taken away by the soldiers. Niall lets go of the throat. Stumbles slowly but determined walk towards the captain. Captain, on his way past, just gives him almost that sort of like slap on the shoulder, like almost like a good job, kid. But Niall, as usual, doesn't react to anything, and just goes, right. I've got one more meeting.
Magical.
Yep, go for it. Arcana.
14.
No obvious signs that it is. It seems to be more performative. It's like, yeah, like, you know, I've got this guy in my back pocket, you know, like a job well done, making a show of it type action. He goes, I've got one more meeting before these. Like the family's back together, you know, when you have that little piece of you that's missing, you know, when Tommy felt like a bit of, you know, probably a close thing like a son to me. Claude, you understand that, you know, not taking the family business.
But doesn't react.
One more meeting for today, and then I'll be on my way. Pleasure meeting you all. Hope we have this fun again next time we see each other. Don't expect me to be so elaborative in my resolution next time. And the little comedy or showmanship just disappears from his face as he finalizes that line. I'll walk away. The captain takes a couple of steps looking at you before he turns around and confidently walks towards the rest of his crew across the far end of the port. We'll see it in the next session.
And the crab monster.
All right, so Tommy's dead to us. I mean, he's
Crab
dead.
people, crab people.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of serious decisions, crucial decision making. Got coming up.